we wrap it up, I have to ask you about training because, I mean, you're known for...
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's about,
method.
right?
Yeah.
Isn't this what it's about in the fucking first
We
place?
can't do a bodybuilding.
Go to the gym and lift weights.
Yeah,
that's what it was about.
We can't talk
When
about
we
with Dorian
started.
Yates without asking about training. Come on. We'd like to people to understand, like, tell a little bit more. What was Dorian Yates' training system like? What worked for you, and how you got to that system? If you could,
I guess ultimately, keep it brief.
yeah,
It's a hybrid between the purists, let's say, of HIT, that you must only do one set and one exercise, or very, very brief. And the conventional bodybuilding training of more exercises, different angles and all this stuff, and some isolation and some compound and split routine is like brought the two worlds together. That's why I call it DYHIT. Yeah, so it's a combination of compound exercise and isolation exercises done with the correct form to put the maximum stress on the muscle that you're trying to target. So it's not how to lift the most weight from here to here. It's how to lift that weight with the muscles that you're trying to target.
Right.
And it's try to lift that weight without momentum. So no swinging, and you're doing it with muscle power. So it's controlled. And a lot of people will get the wrong idea. Oh, Dorian Yates, look at the weights he's using on the... Yeah, but look how I'm using the weight. Look how it's moving. It's moving with control, yeah? So use as much weight as you can, yes, of course. But within the confines of controlling the weight and using it properly. And using it as a tool, because in the end, that's what it is. It's a tool to put stress on the muscle to make it react. So it's... You must train intensely enough in order to have some kind of stimulus, right? You must allow enough time to recover before you go and stimulate again and for growth to take place. So there's a period of time, and that can be individual and that can vary, especially if you're taking steroids. So I think a lot of people take steroids to make up for their ineffective training. They train too much, and normally that would not get them anywhere. But because they're taking the steroids and they can recover more quickly, they're getting a response. And even it might be possible that the stimulus level to stimulate muscle growth with a super high testosterone level might be lower than somebody that doesn't have that.
Yeah.
The answer to that, I don't know. It's a possibility, yeah? But for sure, the recovery is going to be different on anabolics and not on anabolics. When I was starting to train for my first contest, I was also working some nights on the bar, security.
Yeah.
So I'm working, stuff like that, and not using anabolics. I couldn't train more than 3 days a week without not recovering properly. And I think that's general. You know,
it's hard,
if you're going in and training hard, really, you can't come in the next day. You need to be out of the gym the next day, unless you're taking stuff to recover. But my policy with all this is, yes, I'm using the stuff as well, but why not have also the most effective training? And the biggest myth about this, what I hear is, yeah, look, he only does one set or two sets because of all the stuff he's on. It's the other way around, guys. Yeah, it's the other way around. The guys on all the stuff can do all this exercise because they can recover from it. If you're not taking stuff, you can't. So you need to train hard and then rest a lot. 3 or 4 times a week maximum if you're natural. And if you're not growing, just do a little experiment. Take a week off for your body to rest and come back next week and train half.
Yeah.
Half of what you used to do. Just train more focus, more concentrate, more hard. And don't be tempted to do more and go home and see what happens over the next couple of weeks. I think you're probably going to be surprised. You're probably going to start growing. And isn't that why you're there? Or you're there just to bullshit and talk to your friends? It's up to you. You know? A lot of people go to the gym just for social reasons, I think, these days. Yeah. Or to show the latest, the latest stuff from Gymshark.
Gymshark.
Virou programa social.
Yeah, it's like it's part of a social life going to the gym right now.
Yeah, I mean, But if you're there for results,
Yeah.
maybe that's why you're listening to me, because that's what we're talking about here. I'm not talking about entertainment, man. Like, go somewhere else to
Yeah,
entertain
no.
yourself, you know?
Here we're talking about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And Dorian, would you make something different on your training sessions because you had a couple of injuries in the end of your career? Would you make something different?
Would I make something different? Yeah. I would not train with that intensity and that level of heavy weights last 6 to 8 weeks before a contest, because the purpose of training like that is to stimulate growth, but
Yeah.
you're not going to stimulate growth if you don't have sufficient calories. So I would taper the intensity down towards the contest and not train to failure,
Got it.
not train past failure, not do 5 or 6 rep sets. I would train safer, because at this point you have to say, I'm just here to maintain my muscle. So I need to push, yeah, to some extent, but I don't need to do force reps and no negatives or anything, because I won't recover. So my training is to maintain. My diet and my cardio is to lose fat as we're going in. So that's the difference. It's not the system was wrong, it's my application of doing this. And don't forget the condition that I was in 6 weeks
Yeah.
before competition. It was like contest condition. So you become more vulnerable now for injuries. You're a little bit dehydrated. You don't have any body fat cushioning. A lot of things, it's easy to get injured. So you have to be more careful. But, you know, I was just or 100% all the time, which did a lot for me in my life. But sometimes you have to be able to turn it down a little bit. That's the part that I didn't have to the puzzle.
Yeah.